Christian, ancient, sweet, you buster. God is confused, 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 God is confused. Nah, nigga, we ain't Christian, God is confused. True story. Following is based on Brotherhood. Yo. She didn't care for the Yeezys and the Jordans. Tired of the lies, passing stones over organs. Her father just passed, so her heart had a dent. She would struggle with her mother to come up with the rent. Pastor only wanted $1, something make sense. Till she heard a little story that was something like this. What's your nationality? Come and get a flyer. Do you know we got a dark-skinned Messiah? The devil is deceitful and the white man is a liar. Now she wanna study just to get her knowledge higher. A few months passed, then she ain't one with her mother. Since she started learning, they would argue with each other. My mother doesn't understand, I'm not in the code. She needs to respect my decisions as an adult. This is a nice place where nobody will hurt you. Everything's so pretty and we're all wearing purple. It's been a few months, she found a man of the Lord. Won't be steady in the word, always sharpening his sword. Stimulates her mind so she never gets bored. Talks to her like a princess and never like a whore. Got her thinking that there's more, they're only getting the draws. He's such a gentleman, always opening doors. Took her on a dip, paid for everything in the stores. From dinner to Michael Kors, he's like, have it yours. She can't believe it, it's all but a dream. Everything is beautiful, all peaches and cream. She says to herself, I'm happy I joined this group. It makes me feel good, I finally found the truth. These other groups always talking about polygyny, but I found a real man who says he's only into me. What a nice place where nobody will hurt you. Everything's so pretty and we're all wearing purple. And one night on their way home, she seen something she ain't like when she went through his phone. Is this why you said that it's hard to take care of me? You wasn't gonna say you got a whole family? I don't understand, how you think that's fair to me? I've been sharing you, but you ain't been sharing me. Why won't you answer me? But he's thinking carefully. He tried to calm her down, don't get hyped. Couldn't defuse the situation and they started to fight. He made a wrong turn, then a left and a right. Now they was in a wooded area with not much light. Had it almost go wrong, it was such a good night. Said she's gonna tell the bishop about her anger and spite. He said it's not a good idea to cause me this much strife. He should've told the truth and every lie got a price. But if it comes out to my wife, it's gonna be your life. Good night. Inspired by seeing men of the Lord actually out there on the streets. I mean, their whole life they've been seeing Christian pastors, right? The whole life they've been seeing what they Muslims about. They're tired of seeing what a false prophet looks like. Our people need to be us on the streets, and that's why the commander general, Johanna hasn't given any order for us to back down. He hasn't given any order for us to, clear out the way. No, we are here to take ground. We're here to uplift our people, and that's not just with scripture. We're not going to just tell you to be well and keep moving. You know what I mean? In here, we have we got hundreds of thousands of articles of clothes, of clothing that we give out, that we still have. Oh my God, we have so many clothes in here that we're still trying to get rid of. We have,
So like the boy. Fix your mic real quick. It's press up against your chest. Pull the shield up. You tuck the shield and pull it up. That might be a little better. Keep on. I'll let you know.
We give away clothes, food, things that our people actually need, right? And so Commander General is sending us another 13 pounds again on February 19th, right here at 5261 Delmar Boulevard, right outside at between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Right? So pull up, we'll fill up your car, you need any extra things, go ahead and let a brother know. And we got, like I said, we got clothes, we got a bunch of stuff, right? So, any other option? Any questions online? All right. So, as I was saying, self-preservation. Kind of. Is that better? Self-preservation is actually it's actually a negative trait. It's a trait of our enemy, right? They're basically it's basically saying that you and what you want and your ideals are more important than anyone and everything else, right? It is I must survive no matter what the cost, right? But in here, there, and for us to be good brothers, we have to show that we care for something and someone more than we care for ourselves, right? As a priest and a prophet, one of the things that we do is we go out and or we go to the street corners and we teach our people the truth about the Bible. We teach them the truth about who they are and about the lies that they've learned. And people hate and want to kill and will attack us for going out there and trying to teach them the truth, trying to show them love, trying to be a brother to lost brothers and sisters, right? So if we were to use the thought process of self-preservation, there would be no man that would go out there and teach on the street corner. It's much more convenient. It's much less risky for you to know the truth, for you to keep the commandments and stay in your house, and not go out there and try to get one of your brothers or one of your sisters out of the street like somebody did for you. All right. Okay. So let me see here. Leviticus 19 and 17. Because one of the things we teach is outside of here there is no real brotherhood.
Right.
The reason that we teach that is because outside of here we don't really know what brotherhood is. So you can't have brotherhood if you don't even know what it actually is. Right? You got that scripture?
So like real quick before you start, when you said self-preservation, it made me think of a video that I just watched today with it was Fat Joe. I think he had some kind of podcast or something. He was interviewing Floyd Mayweather, you know, and Floyd Mayweather was talking about how he beat the odds, you know, for a black man in this country. The only thing that there is gangs, drugs, you know what I'm saying, violence, you know, being a criminal, going to prison, and all that, you know how they say, all the gangsters, drug dealers, are either dead or in jail. They still saying that, you know, and what our people gotta know that Floyd Mayweather said the same thing. He said, man, you know, I beat those odds, you know, and self-preservation is most important, you know. And Fat Joe agreed. Is that his name, Fat Joe? Yeah, Fat Joe agreed. What was the other one name? Big Pun. Okay, well, I'm getting mixed up. I don't want to say the wrong name. But Fat Joe had turned around and said, he's like, yeah, right. You know, and when you think about it, the only somebody that Floyd is worried about is self-preservation is truly garbage. You know what I'm saying? I had a man I thought was a wise man when he told me these words. When he had said to me, he said, self-preservation is first and foremost. This when I was in the world. And I was like, wow. I thought he really dropped something on me. But now that I'm in the truth, and I know that I got brothers, and I know that I got sisters, and I know that we're a nation, that self-preservation is garbage. It's what got us right here in this situation, to where, you know, sisters are begging, you know, to get some help with their children. When we should be doing that. We should be helping the sisters. You need some help, let's get some help. You need somebody to give us some help. You understand? You need help, babysitter, whatever the hell, you know, instead of ride home or something like that. Help us out. You know, brothers out here begging on the corners. You understand? I mean, man, I done been giving brothers change and they are so appreciative of the $2 and $3 and $4 I've been giving because guess what? Nobody else will give them no money. You know, go ahead, words.
Like today, when I went to the license office, brother was short $6 to get his ID. He's like, brother, I'm trying to get my state ID so I can get the job. And I heard, I ain't have no change on my ID. All I had was a 20. I gave him another 20 to get into the license office. Another brother needs his money. So he broke bread with that brother, because I broke bread with him. If I was in the world, I would have did. Nah, man, I ain't got it. I'm selfish. That's what it says. That's what it is, being selfish.
God. You just helped brother get a job. You know what I'm saying? That was his thing. But somebody else, nah, man, you just trying to buy crack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And would turn him down. And then, like you said, you actually saw him go to the place and then turn around and help somebody else. And here you go, man. You understand? And that was a good thing. That brother's in the world. He could have been like, man, fuck that. And went and bought a bag. You understand? Went and bought some dope. And it didn't help his brother like somebody helped him. But that's how, you know, that's the whole point of the brotherhood class is if we would come in here and get our minds right and learn to treat each other like brothers, that self-preservation junk will be out of the garbage and we'll be through the roof of brotherhood. And man, you'll see how far we can get as a nation if we all would come together. It makes sense. Commanders and Hunters plan is what's in the Bible, and it makes sense. You understand? For us to do exactly what the Lord said and for us to look out for each other, and guess what? We'll all eat. And that's what they say, they're trying to eat, they hungry, they want money and all this. We can all get it together. You understand? We gotta fix that mindset first. You know, but I just want to say that because when you said that, it made me think of that interview. And Floyd Mayweather is one of the most selfish bastards in the goddamn all of the earth. You know what I'm saying? And he mentioned how his father ended up paving the way for them, family, doing what he could for his family, but then he ended up going to prison. You know what I'm saying? And he was self-preservation, so he won't go to prison, so he boxing, but now he, you know, as our brothers get murdered, and he's, I mean, not murdered, but, what happened was that incident where they, mocked us at the mall with the monkey shirt or something like that, and then he goes and spends probably hundreds of thousands of dollars on some Gucci shit. That was ridiculous. You understand? Go ahead. You saw that interview? You did the interview? Can
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. that's heavy because Slovakia. I remember my little cousin. He was his father's not in his life, right? So all he see what mommy do every day. He was carrying his book bag like a purse, like a woman. And I grabbed like, hey man, you don't do that. Wear it like a book bag. Put 2 straps on your shoulder. But he don't know no better. He's like 3 years old. He's seeing what mommy do every day. That's why it's important to have a male role model. You must have a male role model.
I know a sister, like I know a sister that her son and me and her was cool. We was cool in the world when I was in the world. And this sister here, she turned around and would have her son. You know, black women they love their kids, right? They love their babies, they love their boys, they love their girl. You understand? But sisters, like you said, there needs to be a man in the home so there needs to balance. You know what I'm saying? So they can get even balance. They can get that nurture from their mother, and then they can get that masculine from that discipline, and that, you understand, firm from that father. But then when the father's not there, all you getting is the feminine side. You know, and her son used to. This was when like Wendy Williams had first came out. You know, and it was how you doing? You know what I'm saying? And he used to sit there and say that, you know, and I used to check him all the time. Every time I would hear him, and she would laugh. She thought it was funny. I said, now when he come home with a boyfriend, don't cry, don't get mad, because you think it is cute. She said she don't know about it. He don't know about it. He the child. You understand? And he lays in the bed with his mother all day. You know what I mean? And he's listening to her on the phone, having conversations with her girls, and you know what I'm saying. And that stuff is truly, it's okay for you to love on your child. You know, I know you love laying next to them because you breastfed them and you know what I'm saying. You change their little boo boos and their pampers and all that. I get it, but at some point you got to have a manner, especially with the boys. You know, because like you said, here he go carrying his book bag like chicks wear their purse on his wrist. You know what I'm saying? Instead of throwing that thing across his back, you know, and her son go talking about how you doing. You know what I'm saying? Like a goddamn girl, you know, versus, you know, talking like a little boy. You know, and like I said, man, our sisters, you know, they don't know about it. And you know, our kids, man, they start growing up any kind of way. Like you said, Cabal, and that's an excellent point you made, is that they grow up knowing and understanding a feminine point. You understand? The woman's, you know, only her side. You know why? Because there's no man around. There hasn't been one around. You know, there is no leader. The mother is not the leader. She cannot successfully lead and raise a family by herself. She can't. You understand? She was not even fit and, you know, and created to even do that. Right. You know, she can do the best that she can. You know, I know some single mothers that are absolutely doing the best they can. But they're still off. The children are still off because they need something else. And it's the father. You understand? They need to be led properly. You know, they need to know that masculine side, especially these sons, because they gonna grow up not knowing brotherhood. You understand? Not knowing, like you said, how to be a leader. You know, they gonna be fathers like they mothers. They gonna be scary like they mothers instead of being strong men. You understand? These things is going on. You know, he's soft. You gotta watch that. You know, and I hadn't seen him in a while, but last time I did, he was a little older and still soft. You know what I'm saying? As a little boy, it didn't like that situation was getting any better. You know, so like I said, but that's why the ISPK is so vital, man. You know, we have to teach. We are the only leaders for our. Nobody else cares this much. Christians don't care. Black politicians don't care. You understand? None of these people even give a damn. You know?
Right.
And this is why our people This is why we in the situation that we in. All because of our leadership. You know, these so-called black leaders are not leaders at all. They're bums. You understand? Every black politician is a damn bum. Every black preacher is a bum and a gay. He's a gay bum. You understand? And they've done nothing but harm for our people, man. Claim to love everybody, but have been doing nothing but harm for the normal people. Okay?
Oh, God. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Alright, and real quick, I looked up the definition for the word duty, right? The word duty is a noun. It means a moral or legal obligation and responsibility. So when we went and made that covenant with the Most High, through Moses, we entered into a legal and moral obligation, right? And that's not only why the Old and New Testament is for us, is because of the legal and moral obligation, but it's why we get punished for the actions we take against the Most High God. That's why when other nations do the exact same thing you're doing, they'll be fine. But us will end up with every sickness, every disease, in the worst conditions, doing exactly the same thing any other nation of people do, because we are under this moral and legal obligation. Right. Next, I want you to get Matthew 15 and start at 7. And our people think that the Most High is soft. We have to teach our young men and our children how the Most High actually is. We have to teach them how Christ actually is. Why? Because our young men are soft. Because they think the Most High is soft. They think Christ is soft. So if you basing who you gonna be off that effeminate, incestuous murderer, what do you expect? Go ahead and get that verse.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 7. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah's prophecy of you.
So, our people, see, he was saying that Isaiah or Isaiah, right? Yeah. Isaiah prophesied of him in the Old Testament. See, the thing is, that prophecy from Isaiah wasn't even necessarily prophecy, because guess what? There was hypocrites in Isaiah's day. So he wasn't necessarily talking about the ones in the future. He was looking at the hypocrites. And then there was hypocrites in Christ's day. Then there's hypocrites in Paul's day. Our people continually have hypocrites and scribes and Pharisees who always tend to become the religious leader of the majority of the people. Right. Like it tends to be the exact same group of people. that always end up being the scribes and the Pharisees that are the hypocrites. Keep reading.
saying, This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth.
See, we were taught by these scribes and Pharisees to draw near to the Most High with our mouth, right? We've been taught by this group of people who have continually been a plague on our people. We've been taught by them to draw near to the Most High with our mouth, to say great things, to say we love God. Keep reading.
And honoreth me with their lips,
Uh-huh.
but their heart is far from me.
So our minds are far from the Most High.
Right.
So when we were taught this way, we were taught wrong. We were taught incorrectly, and how to do. And we raised our children incorrectly based on that knowledge. Keep reading.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
But in vain they do worship me.
So we worship the Most High as a people, in vanity. We do it for nothingness. We do it to be seen. We do it to, like, don't nobody who's shouting or speaking like that actually think that it's the quote unquote Holy Spirit. They practice that. Okay, them dances are practiced.
Right.
Okay, they go over these words. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so they know that it's a show. It's vanity. Right. Keep reading.
Teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
See, if a hypocrite follows the commandments of men, then a righteous person will follow the commandments of the Most High.
Right.
See, Christian church won't teach you to follow the commandments of the Most High,
Right.
because they're hypocrites. And so the only thing they can teach you is commandments of men.
That's right.
Right? They teach you the doctrine that was written by the founders of their doctrine. That's what they do. That's why they have a division or a denomination.
Right.
Let's go to First Maccabees 3:48. Right? We were taught and shaped this way not only by our oppressor, but by the quote unquote men that were left in our community to lead our churches, because that's the only ones they left in the community.
Right.
Right? They want to take every other so-called black and Hispanic man up out of their community, but they will leave that Christian pastor in there. And I don't know why our people haven't woken up to that fact that for a system to be set against you, and they keep allowing this one group of people in there, maybe that group of people might be working to help that system. Just
Right.
maybe.
Right.
You got it?
Kind of what God.
Go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
Right. So this is what our oppressor did. This is what our oppressor did back when it was when they were going by the Greek Empire, more specifically the Seleucids.
Right.
So this is something that the Seleucids did in specific. Go ahead.
Wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So they've changed the image of our God. They changed the image of our brother Christ. They changed the image of our power, the angels. They changed all those images to images that look more like them, right? So that teaches our young men that what they should be looking at as glorious and as beautiful and as divine is soft and white and everything that you ain't, right? So losing that connection to our power, you die. Everything that loses its power, that is dead, right? So what we need to learn is how to get out of this society, how to pull away from them, and how to teach our children never to go into it, right? How to bring our young men out, because that's one of the best things about children and younger men is that they have it, especially when they come into the truth, right? Because they haven't done as much in the world as some older men have, right? They don't have as many demons to fight. You know, it may be a bit easier for them. And the younger you get them in, the easier it is, because the less the world has had influence over them, right? me Ephesians 4:13.
Okay. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 13. Till we all come in the unity of the faith.
See, what we need and what brotherhood leads, the only way brotherhood can be achieved is through unity. Right? Keep reading.
And of the knowledge of the Son of God.
Right?
Unto a perfect man. Unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ.
Now, hold that and go to 1 Kings 8:61. Right? Now, it's talking about, let's see. So we come into the unity of faith and the knowledge of the Son of God unto a perfect man. Right? So let's see what the scripture is talking about, where it says coming into that unity and into that knowledge and being unto that perfect man. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 61. Let your heart therefore be perfect with the Lord our God.
Right. So to be like Christ. Right. To be what the example of a brother is. Right. Even in Kings. Read that again.
1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 61. Let your heart therefore be perfect.
See, even in the Old Testament, you're commanded to be perfect.
Right.
Right? Christ said, be ye perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And even in, like I said, the Old Testament, it shows that you are commanded to be perfect. Keep reading.
With the Lord our God, to walk in his statutes.
So that's how you are that's how you become a perfect man, right? That's how we teach our brothers and our sisters to become perfect. To not only by us walking in those statutes and commandments, but also teaching them to do so, right? Training and showing our children how to walk in those statutes and commandments, and to teach them what actually being perfect is, right? Not what this world tells you perfect is. Right. The Bible has its own definition of what perfection is, right? Perfection don't mean you ain't never burnt no chicken, right? Perfection don't mean, oh, you've gotten an A in every paper you've ever done in school in your whole life. That's not perfection, not according to the Bible, right? Perfection is following the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God.
That's right.
And unlike what the Christian church teaches, you are able to achieve that, because if you weren't, you wouldn't have been commanded to do it. You wouldn't have been commanded to do it from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, right? Just as much as it says to keep the laws and to follow the commandments, it also tells you to be perfect, because it's the same thing, right? Keeping the laws, following the commandments of the Most High God, that is being perfect. Right? And so following the Most High's laws, that is an example of what being a brother is. It following the laws of the Most High God is being a brother, because you're showing your brothers and your sisters what a man of the Most High God is supposed to be, right? Now, let's get 1 Corinthians 6 and 9.
First Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom,
right? So,
of God.
There you go. So we have to understand that the kingdom of it is not like what the Christians think, right? The Christians just think you can do whatever you want to do and you still go get into the kingdom, right? I know this one cat. he was telling me about his cousin, right? He said him and another drug dealer had gotten in a shootout, and he ran around the corner, and his gun jammed on him. So he ran around the corner to try to unjam his gun. And then while he was trying to unjam his gun, a bullet ricocheted off the building, hit him in the neck, and he died right there. Then he said, "I know my cousin in heaven looking at us like, damn, I almost said I." Wait, you mean the man that was in a shootout during a drug deal? He's in heaven right now, looking down. That's what you're telling me. Like that's what Christianity does. It doesn't matter what you do. Everybody can get into the kingdom, right? So, but we see the Bible says that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Keep going.
Be not deceived, neither fornicators,
Right,
nor idolaters,
right,
nor adulterers, nor effeminate.
right. See, you can't even be soft.
That's right.
Right. It's a requirement that you can't be soft. In fact, drop that. Go to the second Esdras 14 and 14. Right? Because we think it's fine. We've been taught in this society that so-called black man is supposed to be soft. You know, he's supposed to, bring it down and not be so harsh or so heavy, because it's only so-called black men that are treated that way.
Right.
Edomite men just as loud and bold and as in your face as they want to be. But you, oh no, nigga, you better calm all that down. Like you raise your voice, you got weapons on you. Like that is what a cop with a gun and handcuffs and tasers and a baton. If you yell at him, a judge will say, "Yep, that was enough for you to shoot him." Like you just shot him. That nigga yelled that shit. Nope, put him down. Because they fear any boldness from us for any reason, right? So we're taught to soften ourselves, to make ourselves more effeminate, right? But the Most High says that the effeminate won't even inherit the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
Right? You got the verse? Go ahead.
Second Ezra 14, verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts.
So let go from the mortal thoughts. Don't worry about worldly things or things that have to do with this life, right?
Right. Cast away the burdens of man.
Right. This is what is required of a priest and a prophet. This is what is required of a man of God, right? That you let go of these mortal thoughts. That you cast away these burdens that other men have, right? You too worried about worldly things. You're not worried about spiritual things. You're not worried about the kingdom. You worried about, who won the Super Bowl. Like that's a concern of yours. Like you worried about who gonna win this NBA championship. Like none of that means anything.
Right.
You get rid of those worldly burdens and worldly thoughts and those mortal thoughts. Like, keep reading.
Put off now the weak nature.
You can't be weak, right? You just can't. You have to be strong. Like, and
That's right.
that is why they teach our young men to be so soft, right? You can't be an effective prophet if you have no backbone, right? Read this book front to back. Every prophet in here was threatened with death, and most were killed.
Right.
Just for speaking the truth.
Right.
For speaking the words of the Most High, just about every one of these men were put to the sword. That means nothing. You better do it and keep it moving.
Right.
Like, okay, you're right. Yep, that's exactly how you might go out. Okay, now what you gonna do about it? Right? We have to teach our men to be able to take that weight, right? Because we see what happens when they can't. Martin Luther King is a result of that. He can't. He loved white women too much. They softened him. You know what I mean? Not following the laws of the Most High God softens you, right? When you start to love these other nations, you can't have a backbone for yours, right? It softens you. It makes you weak. But we, as a priest and prophet of the Most High God, have to put off that weak nature. All right. Go back to Ephesians 4:13.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 13. Till we all come in the unity of the faith.
So this is something that it said until we all come into the unity of faith. So this is us. This is what it's saying. So I can actually read the verse up that explains what it's talking about.
Ephesians chapter 4, verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints.
Right.
For the work of the ministry.
So this is when he was talking about the gifts that each man was given, right?
Right.
And this is the purpose for those gifts was for the perfecting of the saints and the work of the ministry. Keep going.
For the edifying of the body of Christ.
And this is for the building up of the one body of Christ, right? Keep reading.
Till we all come in the unity of the faith.
So now this is what we're leading to, right? Until we get to this unity in the faith. So until we're united in this belief, in this one way of thinking, right? And not these different doctrines and not these different belief systems until the unity of faith, right? Keep going.
And of the knowledge of the Son of God.
So we're supposed to be we're supposed to be growing into the knowledge of the Son of God. Keep going.
Unto a perfect man.
Now we're supposed to be growing into these perfect men that we were just reading about, how we're commanded to be perfect, how we're commanded to put off that weak nature, how we commanded to be built up into this state. Keep going.
Unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ.
Now to measure up to a stature, it means to look at an example and to meet it, right? It means to do what is required to achieve that level, right? So we should all be working towards being Christ-like. That means that's what a Christian biblically is. Christianity is a religion made up where there are no biblical Christians in it, right? A Christian, by definition, is simply someone who follows Christ. So we are to try to meet the measure of that stature. Now let's see some of the things that includes, right? So we'll go to Mark 1:22. Right? Because it's a horrible lying world there that Yahweh, again, like I said, is this dog-haired,
right,
soft hippie. Like that's not him, right? So let's read and see exactly who he is and what he's like. Go ahead.
The book of Mark, chapter 1, verse 22. And they were astonished at his doctrine.
Right. They were astonished at what Yahweh said. They were astonished at what Christ said, right? Now, mind you, he's in the synagogue, right? He's teaching to the teachers.
Right.
Right. And they were astounded. You know, they were astonished at this doctrine. Like, how is he talking like this? Keep going.
For he taught them as one that had authority.
They like, this man is in here. First off, we supposed to be the teachers. He is teaching us.
Right.
And not only is he teaching us, he's speaking with authority.
Right.
right? It's not something he's not sure about, the wavering. No. He's speaking as a man who has authority. This isn't soft, right? You go in a room full of men who believe they know exactly what they're talking about, and you start talking to them with authority. You can't do that softly, right? That's not
Right.
like you can't. You ever seen a debate? You ever seen a debate? Them men be dead wrong, but they know what they. You think somebody can just walk in a debate full of acres and speak softly and get anybody's attention at all? Like he spoke with authority. Keep reading.
And not as the scribes.
See, he spoke with more authority than the people who wrote every record down.
Right.
Like, this is what you do day in, day out. I'm walking in here and speaking in a way that you would not dare to speak in. Like that is something that we are to do if we follow Christ. We're not supposed to be, sweet, soft talking stuff. No.
That's right.
When we're speaking about the Most High, when we're teaching the law, when we're teaching this word, we're teaching a book. We have to speak with authority, right?
Right.
You can't just no pitter patter, right? That's too weak and too soft. Now, go to Luke, the 22nd chapter, 36th verse.
Luke 22 and 27.
22 and 36.
The book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now, he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scribe.
Okay, so a purse is simply like a coin purse, right? It's a bag that you hold coins in, right? And a scrip is another word for a wallet, right? Because I don't know why, but people think there wasn't like paper money, but there was still some forms of paper money back there, paper that you could exchange for currencies. The dollar in your pocket is nothing but an IOU. Anyway, they had IOUs back then. So it said, take your coin purse. It said, but now he that had a purse, a coin purse, and a wallet, let him take it. Keep reading.
And he that hath no sword.
So if you don't have a sword, if you don't have a weapon to defend yourself, let's see what Christ says about having a weapon. Keep going.
Let him sell his garment.
You should sell the clothes off your back. Keep reading.
And buy one.
And get you a weapon.
Yeah, right.
These ain't my words. It's Christ. That's
right.
Exactly what he said. So he's telling his men, hey, this is how you are supposed to, this is how you're supposed to act, right? This is how you're supposed to be as a man. You're supposed to be ready for battle.
Yeah, right.
You're supposed to be ready for war. A soft man cannot do those things, right? We need to teach and train our young men to take that strength back, right? Now, let's see if it was just Yahushua. Let's see if he was the only one that was this way. Give me Acts 13 and 22. Oh, you had your hand up? Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, like when women always try to say, y'all stop all that roughhouse, let the boys play, let them be men.
Right.
If I want them to be like the daughters playing with dolls and video games, let them boys go play ball, man. Let them roughhouse each other. Iron sharpens iron, right?
That's natural for us, right? That's just in us to do that.
Yeah, right.
But you got that 13 and 22.
Come.
Go ahead.
The book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 22.
Now I'm going here just as a qualifier, right? Keep going.
And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king.
So when he had removed Saul, the Most High raised up David to be their king. Right? Keep going.
To whom also he gave testimony.
So not only was he the king, he was also a prophet. Right? Keep
right.
reading.
And said, I have found David, the son of Jesse,
Uh-huh.
a man after mine own heart.
So this man will have the same mind as the Most High God. Okay, keep reading.
Which shall fulfill all my will.
And so his thoughts are the thoughts of the Most High. His actions are the actions that the Most High would do.
Yeah, right.
Right? All right. Give me 1 Kings 2 and start at verse 2. Let's see about David. Right? Let's see about this man who we clearly see is a man, who thinks like the Most High and who takes actions as the Most High.
Yeah, right.
Right? Go ahead.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, verse 2.
Actually, start at verse 1.
Verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die.
So it's getting close to the time David is about to die, right? So as any good father, he is going to make sure he gets his final preparations in.
Right.
Go ahead.
And he charged Solomon his son, saying,
Uh-huh.
I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and shew thyself a man.
So to show yourself a man, first thing, you must be strong. A man has to be strong.
That's right.
Right? He's telling his son, and obviously this is the son he loved the most, right? He's telling him, look, I'm about to die. I'll go the way that all men go. But when I leave, be strong, right? And show yourself a man. So first you need strength to show yourself a man.
Yeah, right.
Now let's see what else you need to do to show yourself a man. Keep reading.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God,
Right?
to walk in his ways,
Keep going.
to keep his statutes
Uh-huh.
and his commandments
Right?
and his judgments.
So we're supposed to keep the laws of the Most High in their completeness.
That's right.
Right? Start his statutes, his commandments, his judgment. We're supposed to keep all of them. Keep reading.
And his testimonies,
And the prophecies that are written. Keep going.
as it is written in the law of Moses,
Uh-huh.
that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest.
Keep going.
And whithersoever thou turnest thyself,
So whatever way you go, whatever way you turn yourself, first you must be strong, and then you must follow the ways of the Most High God. And not only follow those ways, keep hold of them for the entirety of your life. Right? That's what he's telling his son. He said, never let them go. Never let the laws of the Most High go. Be strong in that. Right? Okay. Let's see. And from there, let's go to Psalms 1:1. So we are to be strong. We are to be men. We are to follow the laws of the Most High God. But not only do we follow the laws of the Most High God, not only are we to be actual men, to be real men, there's also something that we've been taught that we don't need in this kingdom that is very essential to being a man as well as being a brother. Right?
right.
Keep going. Read that verse.
The book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
See, simple fact of the matter is, whether you want to admit it or not, right? You walk in someone's counsel. No man is an island.
Right.
You get counsel from somewhere.
Right.
Now, whether you take heed to that counsel or not, or whether you even believe that the counsel that you're receiving is good counsel, you still walk in counsel, right? Now, whether it's your friends, whether it's your woman, whether it's whoever it is who advises you, you walk in someone's counsel. Now, the counsel you need to be walking in is the counsel of the godly, right? You need to be walking. It says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly," right? You're going to be walking in somebody's counsel, so you need to be walking in the counsel of the godly men, right? Of godly people. Why? Because that is what will lead your direction, right? So, one of our things that we're taught in the society is that as a man, you know, you need to deal with everything on your own, or it's all on you. Like, we can't go get help, right? We're taught that if we're asking for help, it's a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength to ask for help. Go ahead.
It's like they'll say, "Are you a grown man? Figure it out." Like, hey, I can't get advice. You know, everybody need a little counsel here and there.
God, and that's the thing, though, right? That even in that saying, they're still giving you their counsel.
Right.
Their counsel is you should figure it out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's still there's still counsel being given, right? So even if you just wouldn't figure it out, you took them up on their counsel. Right. You did what they said to do. Like, that's you're still going to receive counsel either way it goes. So you might as well find the righteous men to get counsel from them, so that way you can understand leadership, right?
Right.
Not only for a young man to learn how to grow into a proper man, but as well as a grown man to not only change his ways, but learns how to raise his children, learns how to raise his young men the correct way, learns how to treat his daughters correctly, right? But that can only be done when you are in the correct counsel, right? Keep reading.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Right. So you know, you can't be, you know, the standeth in the way of sinners, right? Is one thing to go around people who don't follow the laws on occasion, right? It's you can be cool with them, you know, you can go out to eat with them, but here's the problem, right? After a little while, you keep staying there, you gonna start to do what they do. Why? Because most likely, if they in the world, you probably met them when you were in the world, and so they probably doing some things that you used to like to do. So you don't want those demons to come back, because you know we all know coming out of the world is a struggle. You know what I mean? It's something you got to get used to. You got to get used to being righteous. We've been out of our natural state for so long. We have to get readjusted to it. So we shouldn't stand in a way of sinners, because they're going to bring us back to where we were, right? Nor sit in the seat of the scornful. You sit there with people who are mocking your brothers and mocking your sisters. I mean, either you gonna have a problem with them and you gonna get up and keep it moving, or if you still sitting there, it's probably because you agree, right? You agreeing, and you are, as they say now, hating on your brother and sister, right? And it's usually for no cause. So blessed is he that does not do these things, right? These are things that we need to teach our children, because this is exactly what is done today, right? One kid starts telling jokes about a kid, they start getting a crowd, you know, and then now you got an entire room basically going after this one or two children, right? And I mean, some kids have tough skin, some kids don't, like. But the fact of the matter is, that's not something that we should sit our people to do under any circumstance. Read verse 2.
Verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
So, we are supposed, that is what we in our right mind would enjoy doing more than anything else is following the laws of the Most High God. And as soon as you get in here and as soon as you start to learn exactly how to do it, it not only becomes easier, but you see the joy in it. You see the freedom that it brings to keep the laws of the Most High God. All right. All right. Now let's go to First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 64.
First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 64. Wherefore ye, my sons, be valiant, and shew yourselves men in the behalf of the law.
So he's telling his sons, to be valiant, right? To be upright, to be. He's actually telling them to be perfect, right? To be basically what you would think of when you to be valiant is to have valor, right? It is to have that standard, that intensity, that purpose. A man of valor is somebody you mess with, right? He's telling his sons to be valiant, to show themselves men on behalf of the law. Keep reading.
For by it shall ye obtain glory.
See, that is something that they took from us, right? They convinced us that following the laws is restrictive.
Right.
Following the laws are archaic, or there's something that could damage or be harmful to us, right? But when we follow the laws, that is how we obtain our glory. Right, that's when we shine. Is when we follow the laws. When we step outside the laws, we end up in the state that we're in now. But following the laws is how we, as a people, obtain our glory. Right. Let's see. All right, let's go to 1 Samuel 2 and 3.
First Samuel, chapter 2, and verse 3.
All right, because you said you had it first time. So go ahead.
Talk no more so exceeding proudly.
Right, we need to first, as a man, we need to not be so proud. Right, we need to see pride is a feminine trait. Right, like. And don't get me wrong, I don't mean don't being proud of yourself, but that boastful pride, right? That's you're supposed to do something and it not gloat about it, right? Like that, it's unbecoming, right? These are actions unbecoming of a man, right? So it says talk so more no exceeding proudly, right? It doesn't mean you. We just read a verse where it was talking about how this is where you'll find your glory. It doesn't mean that you will have no glory. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be, exalted, right? But being all boastful and, as they say, tooting your own horn, it's time for the end of that. Go ahead.
Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth.
Right, so as a man, you can't be arrogant, just flapping off at the lips. Like you need to shut your mouth sometimes, right? Keep that pride down and keep that arrogancy down. Like that, these things are not actions of men, right? These are emotional things that you to do these things. You got to be emotional first, right? You start to boast about yourself and start to get arrogant at the mouth. Like these are negative things for us, especially for men, because, like I said, they show feminine traits. They show feminine qualities. Keep reading.
For the Lord is a God of knowledge,
Uh-huh.
and by him actions are weighed.
So you can, you can boost yourself up and try to make yourself look good and being arrogant. But see, the thing is, your actions, if your actions backed what you were saying, you wouldn't need to talk so loud, right? Commander General Yohana says nothing about what he's done, about his accomplishments, right? That he doesn't have to. He when another man is talking, he will say, Salakia, can I, if I may, or can I, like that is an example of what this scripture is talking about, right? He doesn't have to talk proudly. His actions show who he is, right? Go ahead.
It's like we always say, like, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, doing all that bragging and boasting like a woman, and you weak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. Or you, like I said, look at a man like Manager Yohana, or look at a man like General Muhammad, right? Like, he ain't got to tell you what's about to happen. All he got to say is, I pray you understand. And you, listen, you don't have to say no more than that.
Right.
Like, hello, cuz.
Right.
That was me. Slocky. And get whatever you got wrong right. But these men don't have to boast in themselves. Why? Because their actions have been weighed. Their actions speak for them. And as a man, your actions speak for you, right? So that's something that we need to teach our children, because even as a child, you start to build a reputation, right? And then those actions are what people think and what people believe, not the words you're saying, not as much as you want to flap off at the lip. No, I've seen what you do, and they're not the same. So I'm gonna go off of what you're doing, right? It's just like the scribes and Pharisees. Yahushua told them, do what they say, but not what they do. Why? Because they have a reputation for not following the law. They'll say to follow the law. They run off at the mouth. They got the longest fringes. You know what I mean, on the borders of their clothes, but they not doing one thing the law says to do. Right? It's saying that for you to be a righteous man, the exact opposite is required. Keep your mouth shut about your accomplishments. Keep your mouth shut about what you've done. Let your actions speak for you.
That's right.
Right? Now, Psalms 19:7, because our people need a change, right? We need to change from a spiritual depth, from a spiritual level. We need to be. See, this is why it talks about the old man dying. You need to become a completely new person, right? Like when it says, the old things have passed away. Like, it has to die, right? And go ahead and get that verse for me.
The book of Psalms, chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect.
See, when you start to follow these laws, right, you'll start to realize that that's perfect, and you're on the road to becoming perfect yourself, because you're following the laws, right? And it will seem difficult at first because you've been told that it was difficult, right? But the more you start to do it, you're like, this ain't that hard. This actually not easy. Wait, you mean they've been telling me my whole life I couldn't do this? No, it's not as difficult as it's made out to be. It's just that your enemy wants you to think it's difficult to keep you where you are and to keep him where he is. But once you start to get into these laws are very easy to follow, right? So it says that the law of the Lord is perfect. Keep reading.
Converting the soul.
That's the only thing that will change your soul. Following these laws is what will change your soul. It will raise a boy into a man. You know, it will show young men and boys how to become actual leaders of this community who will do what's good for this community, right? Not for their own personal gain, right? Because them civil rights leaders, you know, all of them are famously wealthy, right? Them little boys and girls who's getting them dogs and hoses sicked on them, they still broke. They family still poor. They live actually in worse conditions now than they did back then. The community that they grew up in has disappeared and gone. Every business and everything that they've known their entire life is gone. But those leaders, oh, they got paid. They got paid. They still get paid. Right?
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
These men are put up as our leaders and somehow as some example. But these men are stupid. Like, plain and simple, they're dumb, right? The laws of the Most High God is what make you wise. Because, I mean, I don't care how many degrees you got. If somehow you got talked into a situation where your people end up worse, but you got a trinket, you dumb. When what you could have done was take your position and got everybody out. You know what I mean? If these men would have actually led our people the way the Most High had set up for our people to be led, we wouldn't be in this situation. We would be out of here. Because, I mean, think about it. If all of them in the civil rights movement, instead of fighting for us to integrate, fought for us to start following the laws of God and start keeping the commandments, and had that many so-called blacks and Hispanics following them, we'd be out of here. But they got to sleep with white women for a couple of years, or they got the newest perms. You know what I mean? They got a nicer house. This is why it says it makes wise and simple. Because outside of these laws, outside of following what the Most High has set out for us, you're an idiot, and you'll only cause death and destruction for our people. All right. All right. I'll get one more scripture before we get out of here. All right. So, and I want to get that with 1 John 5, and we'll start at verse 1 John 5 and 2. Right.
1 John chapter 5, verse 2.
Right.
By this we know that we love the children of God.
So this is how you know that you love your brother and sister, right? This is how you know that you care about the people that you actually care about, that you say you care about, right? Keep reading.
When we love God and keep His commandments.
Now, and I love that this is the book of 1 John, right? Because 1 John, it was the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, then Jude, then Revelations, right? You well after death, burial, resurrection of Christ. You well after all of this stuff, right? That Christians like to pull. But right here it says, we know we love the children of God when we love God and keep His commandments. When we keep God's commandments, not the commandments of Christ, but the commandments that the Most High gave us, right? We find those in the first 5 books, right? We see those in what the prophet said. But we see here that we know that we love each other. We love the children of God when we love God and keep His commandments. Keep reading.
Verse 4.
3.
Verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments.
This is the love of God. This is how you show the love of God. I've heard Christians say all my life, I got the love of God. The love of God is keeping His commandments. Right? Keep reading.
And His commandments are not grievous.
These things will not bring you distress. They're not a burden to you. Right? Follow the laws of the Most High God. Right? Join with your brothers and sisters right here in the ISUPK, where you can learn how to follow the laws of the Most High God, where you can learn how to read the Word of God correctly, where you can learn how to treat your brother and sister, right? And the commandments, they're not hard, they're not difficult, right? The Christians lie to you to keep you paying them money. They keep telling you that the commandments, that being perfect is impossible, it's hard, and you can't follow the law. No man can follow the law. The Bible says over and over that there are perfect, that it records perfect men, and it also says that following the law is not difficult, right? And the more you do it, the easier it will be. But you need to get into the ISUPK and learn, and start learning how to do that, right? And that's the only way to be a true brother or a true sister, right? All right, and since we are a little past the time with that, shalom, Israel.